everyone. Coach Sullivan here again with MGS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you, and those who haven't yet, I hope you do. I just finished my 38th year coaching. I was a defensive coordinator, but over that time, I've been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. So today, in this presentation, I'd like to talk to you about a member of our dog family that we simply call Dime Dog. Dime Dog. Okay, and we also have a Dime Dog Stick. Okay, so we're going to show you this versus both 11, 11, as well as 10 personnel. Okay, and we're going to show it to you out of base, and there's a reason for that I'll build in as we go through the presentation diagram. Okay, so today, when it's a dog, we have what's called a D-crash. What we say, that's the dog. D-crash is the technique with aiming points. Okay, so now it's the dime, which means you're force and cage blitzer. And I'll bring that in as we go through this, and that's for run and pass. It also means you're the boot defender. And so because you got force and cage, you're going to peel, and I'll differentiate that with you, the differences in what the running back can do and when the dog would peel with it, okay, versus when the dog would not, okay, but we have somebody else who that's built into their assignment, okay. We have a C-scrape, and we just simply designate it as the first line inside linebacker, okay, on the side of the call. So you look at this and say, well, gee, you only got two. Well, that's right, in our base 3-4. But we do have odd front three linebacker sets, so that's why we phrase it the first inside linebacker. And I'm not going to get into that in this presentation, but I'm hoping that makes a little bit more sense. Okay? And because it's the C-scrape, they're going to read the offensive tackle and then go butt side. So this will all be a part of the presentation. The lucky Ringo goes to the dime. As I've said, I think in virtually every presentation, if the dime doesn't know who the dime is, we got big trouble, right? So that's what that means. We'll see how that plays out as well. The premise of this concept is 4 off the side. Okay, a base dog, just a straight dog. We got 4 off the side. So we'll show you how that plays out. Okay, and so I think from this point, you're going to start to be able, if you haven't already, figure out where we're going with this. The stick tag is we've utilized in other Blitz presentations, so non-subscribers push the button. DN call side, stick say, which means nose is A away. Okay, so we're no longer 4 off the side, but there's a reason why we do it. Okay, so now the A-gap defenders, they are the draw defenders. The B and the C-gap defenders, they play for the running back, and we say it's a sift, and that includes screen. Okay, so there is another scenario in that. I'm going to show you that scenario when I teach you what will get the dog to peel. Okay, we'll teach those together. So this is what I was alluding to. This is a pass situation blitz. Okay, which means we got to do a lot of film studies, coaches, and we got to present that to our players and make sure we call it in the correct situation. Now, that being said, I have also utilized it on occasion for a zone read or an RPO changeup. Okay, but it is predominantly used in a pass situation. Okay, and then I'm not going to draw this up, but I will show it to you, as you'll see why it's pretty easy for me to do. What we call a stick ball tag. So stick ball, right? So dog stick ball. The inside linebacker away from the call is going to delay plug B gap, and you'll see how easy that is for us to do when the time comes. So all of this will be brought into the 2 diagrams. So here's what we got, okay? We have 11 personnel formation up here. It's 11 gun Dallas pistol, which is a 2x2 with a tight end. And on the bottom, we have 10 personnel, okay, again, 1 back formation, gun Detroit pistol, 2x2, 4 wide, no tight end. All right. So we want to show you the versatility, and in this diagram here, and this presentation here, and both diagrams, I should say, the dime is detached. If you want to see what to do when the outside linebacker is attached, non-subscribers, push the button. Okay? All right, so what I will be doing is those involved in the blitz will be in blue. And anything, any words or so forth, what the offense does will be in black. And when it comes to the peel and so forth, I will also do that in black. Okay, so let's go. So up here, right, here's the 11 personnel formation, Dallas. It's a rip. So again, non-subscribers, you want to know why? Hit the button. All right, so now the dime is detached on the right. So this is a Ringo, which triggers Roger. So the only thing I'm going to show you about the coverage trio in both is the safety spin. That's it. Nothing else. Okay, and included in that will be the timing of it. Post snap. So we also have code words here. M for the Mike, his code name is Michigan. B for Backer, his code name is Buffalo. The only time we use Michigan or Buffalo, it's their code. That's the only time it's used. Okay? So how that factors in is coming up shortly. So, dime dog, straight dime dog. Okay? This is a named blitz, so the dime is the dog. Okay? From here, see, he has a staggered stance, meaning the inside foot is up when he's detached. So it's going to be a dig crossover. He's not moving. From there, he's going to blitz. Okay? This up toe is on the heels of the defensive end. In our base system, without any other calls that can change his alignment, he's only 5 yards. Obviously, the width of 2 can impact that, but we're going to say he's well outside of 5, right? Just to keep this simple. So from there, on the snap of the ball, his aiming point in the backfield is the deepest hip. So in pistol, it's the hip of the tailback. Okay? In addition to that, right? Versus a tight end, D gap begins at the outside of the tight end because C gap begins at the outside of the tackle. Well, over here, C gap is the outside of the tackle, so the D gap's not defined. So what we say is 2 yards outside the tackle, okay? So if you take a step, crossover step, right? Dig and crossover. At the deepest tip in the backfield, you will pass through that imaginary 2-yard point. And this is significant for a lot of reasons. Okay? First of all, he's got force, which means he's going to keep the run inside of him. He's got cage, which means he's going to keep the quarterback inside of him on pass. He's got peel, and I'm going to show you that right now. And he's got to play the boot. In order to do that, he's got to take the appropriate course. And it's got to be fast, okay, and it can't be tentative, all right? So here's the deal when it comes to what I mean by peel. Okay, I'm going to start with that. If the back were to take an arc path like that, so if it were a pass, that's a flare. If it were a speed option, that's the pitch path. That is the one scenario he peels. That's it. Okay, that is the only scenario that will get him to peel. Okay? Back goes away. He's now playing for that quarterback boot. That's his job. Plays for the boot. Okay? With me on this? All right. So the reason for all of that, included with the aiming point partly, is the next guy inside. In this case, it's called Buffalo, your C scrape. On the snap of the ball, this isn't the read. He literally takes that C scrape footwork as if he was playing the run, play side run. That's his gap in the base defense. Okay? And then from there, that's what's meant by read the OT, go butt side. So if the OT is blocking this way, we want the C scrape butt side of that. So this is usually what happens. He's looking outside for that blitzer. So then the C scrape is technically in the B gap. We're okay with that. Okay, so one of the reasons that's the 2-yard landmark is to make sure he can get force, he can get cage, and he can play the boot. Yes, yes, and yes. But if he also was any tighter, there's a chance there could be a collision there, because if the tackle faced that way, he's going to stay in the C gap. And now we got, whoop, he's coming from 5 yards. The C scrape linebacker might beat him. You follow me? So that's the other reason. So let me get back to that scenario with the running back. I showed you the two where the dog's going to peel, right? B, C gap defenders, running back sift, right, for screen, or this. If he's going to shoot into the flat as a blitz beater, okay, regardless of where the butt is, if he starts it, he's going to peel off and take the back. Dog stays on the cue. The only time the dog peels is when you get that type of a flare arc going on, whether it's speed option or a blitz beater in the pass. Okay, that's important. So that's the C scrape. So the dog is 1, C scrape is 2. So then how do we accomplish getting right 4 off the side? DN call side, slant B. Sorry, my blue seems to be dying. I'm going to switch to red. DN call side. B, nose A to the call. There is 3 and 4. That's how you get 4 off the side, right? So now the inside linebacker away, okay, he has running back 2. So if the running back comes to him, he takes him in the pass. He does draw or Q. So we just say running back 2, draw or Q. Running back 2, draw or Q. Anytime you can get something that rhymes, it makes more sense. Kids tend to remember it no matter how old they are. All right, so if the back comes to him, he takes him. The back goes away. Now he's the A-gap guy, right? He's playing draw. He's playing draw. A-gap defenders, draw. And if there is no draw, then he becomes the quarterback. So we let the offensive scheme, take our defenders where they need to be. All right? And then over here, defensive end away from the call and pass, he's got outside cage. And so now I'm going to show you the dog stick, who it affects, and then I can show you how the stick ball tag would work. Okay, so let me just try to clean this up a little bit. So dog stays the same, C scrape stays the same. Boom, done. Defensive end call side, stick A, which bumps nose A away. So we do this for one big reason. We're going to try and defend the draw aspect or middle screen, running back middle screen aspect of the situation. If an opponent has a heavy draw tendency in the A-gaps or filter in the running back in the A-gaps, middle screen, dump off, we're going to stick it. We're going to sacrifice the 4th off the side to be more secure in the A-gaps, okay? And then we got 3 because he's running back 2 or draw, and then it's that or the Q, right? So that would be the reason. So now, right, stick ball See, the only gap available is the B, so that would be the delay B gap for that reason. It just built right in. Okay, so again, we'll let the offensive scheme tell us, this is a good week to run the stickball tag. They can't pick it up, and they don't necessarily have they don't have a blitz beater. Okay? So the last thing here I want to show you, and it's not because it's unimportant, right? Safety spin. So again, let me clean this up. Ringo triggers a Roger call. So both safeties don't move a muscle like the dime in this case until the ball's snapped. So there's no indicator for the offense to say, whoa, right, and have their blitz beater alerts on. Okay, can't do it. So on the snap, he's gone. He's screwing down. He's rotating middle to one high. Okay? So now, without going into all those scenarios again, we understand the only thing that the dog peels to, and we understand what the C-scrape does when the back appears like that. Okay? Again, that's built into the rules of the dog family. Right? Now we're down here versus 10, and I'll just show you how simple it is to execute. Now the dime is left, so middle of the field it's list, so non-subscribers going to have to push that button. Now a lucky call triggers a Louis. So this time, I'm going to show you the dog first and the safety spin at the same time. Okay? Again, inside foot, he's got a staggered stance. That inside foot's on the heel. He's no wider than 5 out of our base, right? I mean, it doesn't look that way. I understand. I don't have enough spacing. But on the snap of the football, you got the same 2-yard landmark. Whoop. Right? It's still the deepest tip. He still has force, cage, boot, and the one scenario to peel. So now on the snap, he screws down. He rotates middle. So see, the outside linebacker in both cases, they're tied in a rope. By him blitzing, it pulls the safeties in his direction. That's how we teach it. Okay, you guys are on a rope. And again, non-subscribers, push the button. You understand why when we adjust to motion, we just call it the rope concept. Okay, so now, again, let me have the offensive tackle here. As well as the guard. Okay, snap of the ball, initial aiming point, because C scrape, that starts the C gap. He going to B gap, right? So there's 1, there's 2. Slant B, slant A to the call, right? In that scenario, he's going to be unblocked, he's going to be unblocked. So it doesn't matter to us if 2 guys are in the B gap, okay? Now, again, that was a Buffalo call, as it was before. Now this time, just like before, he's got running back 2, draw, or Q, right? Everything stays the same. Now this time, he's got outside cage because he's away, right? And because it's a dime dog, they can motion change to a 3-by-1. A dime dog stays dime dog. Beautiful. So now, right, that's the base dog. Let's take a look at the stick tag. Still lucky, still a Louis, still the dog, still the C-scrape, still running back 2, draw or Q, right? Still has outside cage. Now DN to the call is N, stick A away, right? There are your 2 A-gap defenders. If we wanted to do the stick ball tag, there's the B gap he's going to delay plug. Let the protection set. That's what we say. Okay? So this is how we roll when we call a dime dog or a dime dog stick or a dime dog stick ball. Okay? Those tags don't affect anybody else. That's the brilliance of it. So as I said at the beginning to my subscribers, I thank you, and I hope I made the point enough. Non-subscribers, I'd really love for you to. Right now, I want to hope to make the point that questions, please reach out to me, CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com. It's starting to happen, and when it does, man, I'm learning a ton too, and this is what this is all about. So I really hope you reach out to me because I can never stop learning as well. All right. So I hope you do.